welcome to episode 4 of the Start Reset Nintencast. I am Jeremy, joined as always by Mr. Michael Smith. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm good.
You know what today is, right?
The 26th of February.
I know, and I know you're not a date person, because when we say the date, that means you have to commit to when this is going to get uploaded to our podcast.
So, shit. We are recording on the 26th. This will be out at a later date.
This is late in the 26th.
It's very late, so you guys will probably get this earliest by Saturday.
So, 3 hours and 50 minutes, man.
To get this up?
No, till Pokemon comes out.
Oh, true story. So, hopefully by the time that this comes out, you guys will already have your hands on Pokemon for the Nintendo 3DS.
Which is like... It's funny because I've been having this conversation like all day long on Facebook with people about, making this decision of, man, Pokemon re-releasing, what do I do? Mm-hmm. Do I do Bulbasaur? Do I do Squirtle? I don't know which way to go. And it's so funny because I have a fucking Game Boy in the other room that I can just go grab and toss Pokemon Red or Blue into, or Yellow, and play them right now.
You want to play like that big, bulky, gray-ass Nintendo Game Boy? I don't know, man. So if I came in with low energy, it was because Michael and I just recorded 20 minutes worth of podcast. It wasn't that much. It was much less.
Yeah.
But then I realized that we were not recording using the right microphone. So
you missed a really enthralling conversation
about the analog NT
that I'm not going to repeat.
Yeah.
Basically,
Michael's been playing Legend of Zelda on the the original NES cartridge on his analog NT, and he's just talking really good stuff about how this is replicating basically the experience that he remember having in the 80s when playing the Zelda games, and how awesome the company's been to work with.
Yeah, believe it or not, man, that was actually when I got a Nintendo. I got a Nintendo as a kid, and I don't know that we've had this conversation before. I got a Nintendo as a kid. My dad actually, growing up, my very first gaming console was an Atari 2600. And my dad got rid of it. It was my sister's, mm-hmm. and she was 3 years older than I was. And I just started playing it, legit just started playing it. I was playing Combat. I don't know if you remember Combat. It's this little tank that drives across the screen. One person's one tank, the other, and you just shoot at each other. There's obstacles all around you. So pretty cool stuff. But my dad got rid of it. I came home from school one day and it's just gone.
Yeah, I think you did tell a story. And then that same Christmas,
I got a Nintendo. And I got Christmas money, man. And first game I bought was Legend of Zelda, dude.
Nice.
I remember going to the store, going to Toys R Us, taking a little coupon and handing it to the person in that little magical window and getting my copy of Zelda and getting in the car and open it up. And there's this big map that you pull out. Such a cool experience, man. Definitely that was a game that created such an impression on me as a kid for the history of gaming. And dude, I loved it. And going back now and playing through Legend of Zelda again, all over, dude, it definitely brought up a lot of great memories. I remember playing this so many years ago, and mm-hmm. It's still as awesome now as it was back then. So great game, man.
I think I remember seeing something somewhere where either the boxed physical copy of Twilight Princess, or maybe it's Zelda for Wii U, is going to also come with a really nice high quality cloth map.
Dude, shut up.
I think it's with Twilight Princess.
That's so legit.
So we were talking about it earlier about man, am I going to buy Twilight Princess when it releases? And the answer is I really want to, but I don't know if I can justify it when I've got a Wii copy sitting at home. But if they are adding little things to collect amiibo and high quality fucking maps, then I might have to get it right at launch. I'm not sure. I haven't decided quite yet.
There's just so much. We were talking about this separately. There's just so much coming out during that time frame. I have Fire Emblem Fates that I'm currently in the midst of playing. And then Bravely Second comes out the month after that.
Yeah.
And that's just Nintendo hardware. I'm not even talking about Xbox and PlayStation with what's coming out there. So just going to be hard to get my money out of my wallet to buy Twilight Princess HD. As much as I like that game, it's going to be a tough sell for me right now.
Mm-hmm. You had mentioned that you're taking a trip or something soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you going, man?
Going to Harry Potter World.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. I'm super excited, man. We actually leave. Believe it or not, dude, in less than 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
It's insane, man. I'm super, super pumped.
I'll be over here.
I know.
Watching your dogs and making a mess of your house.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we're, is Allie gonna come over and hang out with you?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll just, take the time away from her.
I mean, you guys can definitely bring your dogs over if you want. I don't know how they are around other dogs.
No, my dogs just piss all over your carpet.
Yeah, I'm not cool with that. You can leave them at home.
But yeah, dude, I don't really have anything interesting like that going on. You guys are going to like the Cleveland Comic-Con and shit tomorrow too.
Yeah, so actually started today in Cleveland, Ohio, the Cleveland Comic-Con. Like, dude, like, mind blown. I just found out yesterday that Chris Hemsworth's going to be there from Thor.
That's pretty fucking rad, dude.
Yeah, it just, like, blows my mind, dude. He's, like, I mean, he's such a big actor.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in fucking Cleveland, Ohio. So, yeah, a lot of stuff, man. So I'm going to that tomorrow. And then next week, I have a short work week. And then the week after that, dude, super short work week because we leave on Wednesday to go to Harry Potter World. So I'm super excited. This will be my second time going there. And it'll be my first time going there since they've opened up Diagon Alley.
Nice.
So I'm excited for that.
Diagonally. Yeah.
But that's about it for me, man. Just playing some Legend of Zelda, playing some Fire Emblem, getting ready for Harry Potter World and the Cleveland Comic-Con. What about you, man? What have you been playing?
Well, I've been, like, not playing as much as I'd like because I've been trying to get, like, a nice, like, Twitch stream set up recently. So I got a Twitch stream set up to like play like emulated Game Boy Advance games, and I just want to preface this with I'm not playing or acquiring these games illegally. I definitely don't condone that sort of behavior. I own copies of the game, so it is within, as far as I know, my legal rights to own a digital version of that same game or license.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, you feel free to correct me at start-reset.com. But anyway, so I've been trying to get like the Twitch stream set up, get like a nice theme going, and basically just get like a really high quality stream, which I think I've accomplished so far. The one like snag that I've kind of run into is I have an Elgato Game Capture HD, which I really want to be able to capture from, Wii U games, Xbox One, PlayStation 4.
Yeah, because you just hook your Wii U up to that, couldn't you? And play off the eShop?
Straight to the Elgato. Like, I really could if I wanted to, and that might actually be a better way to do it. Because you've got controls that are designed, by the guys at Nintendo to play those games.
What are you using right now to play?
So right now since I am using an emulator, I'm using an Xbox One controller, which
what's up.
Feels kind of weird because I'm playing currently, and this is like the other can of worms. So I'm playing Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3, which is originally a Super Nintendo game that was released on Game Boy Advance. And
it was Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island.
Right, exactly. And then it was released on the eShop. But it's really weird to like play a game that was designed for the Super Nintendo on an Xbox One controller because the Super Nintendo, like the A and B and X and Y are switched versus how it is.
Oh god, that would be so annoying, dude.
One controller.
But you can just switch them around.
So I'm playing like, hey, like this is what A should be, which is in the bottom position on the right side of the controller, and then B, X, and Y. Like I just haven't set up like an Xbox controller because that feels natural to me now that I've been playing there for like the last 10 years primarily. But the issue that I'm having is when I go to run my Elgato Game Capture HD onto my computer cannot fucking handle it. Like, I think my computer can barely handle me recording this podcast right now.
It's that bad?
That bad, dude. Like, I thought...
Like, you don't have a bad computer, too,
I don't. Like, it's got an i5, it's got like 8 gigs of RAM. It doesn't have a graphics card. It's just like...
Integrated?
Intel integrated graphics. But I thought it could handle, fucking streaming out to the internet like gameplay footage, but apparently using OBS, which is my streaming software, and capturing Elgato game capture stuff, computer's like, no, fuck you, bro. Like,
it's not about that life.
Not about that life at all. So I'm trying to convince Allie. I lost the argument, I think. But
about the desktop?
I really want a desktop.
I thought she said she was cool with it.
No, it's fine. Like, I have a laptop which serves multiple purposes, right? I can lay in bed, like, which is originally what I wanted to, like, edit, videos or edit the podcast, browse the web. Like, it's a laptop, like, it's portable, it's got a battery. In order for me to get a desktop, I'd have to, like, basically trade the laptop in, sell some other stuff to be able to get a desktop that is up to snuff for what I need to do to stream properly the way I want to stream. So, for now, I'm just going to be playing emulated games that I own on other platforms, which, like I said, as far as I know, is within my legal rights to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I've been playing a lot of Super Mario Advance 3, Yoshi's Island.
Dude, it's such a great game, man.
So we're gonna get into a conversation later about like our favorite, Nintendo games of all time, which is a long overdue conversation in my opinion. But just, I guess, a little spoiler, that game's gonna be on that list because that is a fantastic fucking game. Like,
it really is, dude. I gotta say, like, I remember as a kid, though, like, I sold my Nintendo when I was a kid at a garage sale. Like, we had, like, a family garage sale. And I remember that summer, like, Super Nintendo came out. And I'm like, I fucking need a Super Nintendo. I'm a sucker just having a Nintendo. I need to be playing with Superpower. So I sold my Nintendo and all my Nintendo games at this garage sale with just the idea of I needed to get enough money to buy Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So I needed to play Super Mario World. And, of course, I knew that Legend of Zelda Link to the Past was on the horizon because I had Nintendo Power, so I was playing with Power. So I sold my Nintendo, dude, and I get a Super Nintendo, and I get Super Mario World, and I fucking love Super Mario World. Like, best game I've ever played in my entire life at the time.
Yep.
Mode 7 just blew my mind. And everything was just so much better. The game looked so much better. It played so much better. It was just unreal. I remember when Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island came out, I was pumped. I get this game and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, it wasn't at all what Super Mario World was, but it was awesome.
It was
like,
in a
but I was
way.
so pissed at first as a kid. I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, I didn't say that. I was like, like 10 years old, but nonetheless.
No, dude, the game's got such like a timeless art style too. It's almost like cartoony in like a weird animated style way, like that you don't, I don't know, like if you look at like what Wind Waker did for Zelda, I feel like Yoshi's Island did that for Mario.
Yeah, it has like that very kind of like, I don't want to say like watercolory look, but it's like a very,
like that.
It's a very different looking game, and it looked awesome.
It's like
at
if
the time.
watercolor had like texture.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what Super Mario or Yoshi's Island is,
dude. And that had one of the best boss fights ever at the end with Bowser. Oh my!
I haven't gotten through, so I'm not recalling.
Have you never beaten?
No, I've beaten it before.
Okay,
but it's been so long since I played it.
Bowser's in the background.
Okay,
and he keeps getting closer and closer and closer, and he keeps like throwing shit from the back of the screen all the way to the front. You have to keep dodging it, and you get these things you got to throw back at him. Oh, dude, it's such an amazing boss fight, bro. I
can't wait. Like, so basically, like I'm gonna be playing that every day until I beat it.
Nice.
And I made this like really like over the top like remark. Hey, I'm gonna beat every Game Boy Advance game ever made.
That's a huge undertaking.
So like 1,000, like 1,000.
I don't even know how many games there are.
Over 1,000.
Oh my God.
I'm sure.
Hey, at least you'll get a chance to play. Have you ever played Golden Sun before?
I haven't. That's like a simulator kind of game, right?
Dude, it was
Harvest Moon. Sorry.
So there's a company through Nintendo. They're kind of like a first party company, I guess you could say.
Second party.
Or second party. There you go, man. Yeah, good call. They it's by a company called Camelot.
Yep.
And they used to make a lot of the Mario Golf and tennis and stuff like that. But they made an RPG for the Game Boy Advance called Golden Sun and Golden Sun
and
Lost Age.
I had a buddy that was like really into it.
Dude, they're so good, man. It was like kind of like Pokemon in a way, where you had like these like pets that fought for you, but I mean you didn't use them exclusively, so it's different in that regard.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, dude, the sprite art, awesome in that game, story, music, like it's a really great game, man. That was one of my favorite Game Boy games or Game Boy Advance games I think I ever played.
Yeah.
So you get a chance to play that, dude. Awesome game.
Yeah, maybe I'll check that one out next. I want to. Basically, like, what I want to do, like, the reason I say I'm going to beat every Game Boy Advance game ever made, obviously I haven't played them all, right? But this will give me a chance to kind of go back through that catalog and find some stuff that I missed.
Yeah.
And really, like, relive, like, a lot of my childhood nostalgia for games that I was able to play. But I'm going to be doing that on Twitch. So if you guys want to follow and, just follow the Twitch stream. I don't have subscriptions or anything set up like that. Come on over. It's twitch.tv/start_reset. And I'm going to be doing that every day for at least an hour. And then there'll be a few days like where I am like being like on there, longer, maybe throughout the day, a few times. And Mike will be on there occasionally too. I'm going to get him all set up to, stream on that channel. So, definitely make sure you guys check that out. That'll be fun to game and hang out with you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I think it'll be a really good time. Just a trip down nostalgia lane.
For sure. I guess let's hop into it.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
There's been a lot of, like, I wouldn't say a lot of news, but, like, quality stuff that's been happening recently in the world of Nintendo.
Dude, it really seems like to where it's, like, these, like, ebbs and flows. It'll be, like, real consistent with, like, a ton of, like, info just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Then it seems to just, like, go flat for, like, a week or so, and then it's just a ton of more shit coming out. And when it comes out, man, it's been some, like, really quality information, like, some really good stuff, like, The legitimacy of it is kind of like in question, but I mean, it seems like it's coming from some pretty reliable sources.
Yeah, so like we have like obviously like actual like news. Like the Nintendo Direct just happened like a couple of hours ago.
Oh yeah, 10:00 this morning.
Yeah,
short but awesome.
Yeah, it was a good Direct. It was 6 minutes long. We'll get into it in a second. But then you've got like rumors that seem reliable, but we're not 100% sure yet. We won't know until it happens. But we'll also make some points, I think, to really like connect everything together, to allow you to see maybe why we think we give it more credibility than maybe, I don't know, like a random news outlet like Kotaku or I don't know, Forbes. Forbes just does gaming coverage, which I think is weird.
It is really weird. Like, I was on their website not too long ago, and they like do all these reviews on different technology, like cameras. I'm like, what is this?
And it's weird too because I'll see the cheap ass gamer CheapED on Twitter. He runs like the CAG cheapassgamer.com, and I'll see him like fucking tweet Forbes gaming blog like shit all the time on his Twitter account.
That's so weird.
Like, dude, why aren't you getting like your sources from like your Kotakus and your Polygons and your IGNs? But hey, like I guess if we would hope that a company like Forbes would have maybe a little bit more journalistic integrity than like a straight up video game publication.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just like my taking of it. But let's start with the stuff that actually happened today, the actual news.
Yeah, man. Where do you want to jump in at? You want to talk about this Direct or what?
Yeah, let's talk about the Direct.
Cool, let's do it, man.
So a day or two ago, I think there was some information that was leaked. It was a trademark filing, I think, for Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
And we all thought it was a rumor, like maybe somebody had made like a really good mock art for this potential new Pokemon game coming out. We didn't know if it was real, and then lo and behold, Nintendo has their Direct today.
Yeah, it was all legit, man.
It was all legit.
Which, how do you feel about this? So, like, we haven't had a Nintendo Direct in a minute, and I guess this wasn't really a Nintendo Direct as much as it was like a Game Freak Direct. I mean, it's like it's led by them. They're a
Pokemon
exclusive.
Company,
yeah. Well, I shouldn't say exclusive. They made a game for the Xbox One and PS4.
That's true. Yeah,
that elephant game.
Yeah, and Harmonite was 3DS, so never mind.
Yeah. So I mean, like they're like second party. They're pretty exclusive to Nintendo. So I mean, they had their Pokemon Direct, and yeah. How do you feel about that? So we haven't had a Nintendo Direct in a while. We get this Pokemon Direct, and I like how they kind of announce this stuff like a day or two before it happens. Like I like how we're not waiting like weeks and months for these Directs to take place. But what were your thoughts on the Direct with what we heard and saw?
So it was like a little bit. It seemed like it was going to be underwhelming because like they had like a graphic up before the Direct started. Said, "Hey, like
6
Nintendo
minutes.
Direct coming approximately 6 minutes." I'm like,
I was super bummed when I saw that.
Like, man, like what can this be? And like there was reports and leaks saying that, hey, like this was probably only going to be a 5-minute Direct. So I had the expectation that might be the case.
Yeah.
Was secretly hoping for maybe something a little bit longer, 15, 20 minutes.
I mean, like everybody was reporting the same thing. And like I remember I was talking to my wife and I'm like, man, 5 minutes? Like what are we going to hear in 5 minutes?
Quite a bit as it turns out.
Yeah, no doubt. I was actually like really bummed at first when they started the Direct. For those who didn't see it yet, watch it. Even though it's only 6 minutes long, totally worth it.
Good information in there.
Man, they like, so first off, the intro was so cool with like the little Game Boy throwback with the monochrome, like green and, a yellow screen. That was really neat. And I loved how they went into that video, just kind of like showing like all the emotions of and all the feels of like Pokemon played by people of all ages around the entire world.
Yep.
And I thought that was super slick. I was real bummed at first. I'm like, how long is this video going to take?
Right.
We only have 5 minutes.
Right.
Like, let's find out what we need to find out. Then the video's like, what, like, I think like a minute long, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But super quality video. Like, it really like pulled on some strings of like that nostalgia of Nintendo and Pokemon.
And like you said, like they like showed off a bunch of emotions there. There were like, kids like God damn it, like you fucking beat me in this Pokemon game. It's like shit, like yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Like getting beat at like fucking lunch at school. That was me like all the time. I was a terrible Pokemon trainer. But no, so like, they kind of jumped into that, like showed like this really highly nice produced video, like what you're talking about, people all around the world reacting to Pokemon. And then they started talking about how Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon will be out this holiday.
Yep, 3DS.
Now this ties into a rumor that I had seen, I don't know, like a week or two ago, that the Pokemon Company is working on something more than just Pokemon Go. So we didn't know if it was going to be another mobile outing. Michael's opening up Hyrule Historia, guys.
I need to.
Some Zelda Past.
I need to.
Or whether or not we're going to see a 3DS game or maybe something for NX. I was secretly hoping that the next Pokemon, like true line Pokemon game, was going to be on the NX.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you made the NX Pokemon your game of the year.
Yeah, I did.
And what was the conversation about how I said it didn't exist, so you couldn't make it your game of the year?
Well, we don't know. Maybe Game Freak is working on something else.
No,
we don't know.
We know.
Okay, so I was wrong. I thought it would have been smart for Nintendo to throw in a Pokemon game at the launch of a new console in order to get them Pokemon fans to buy in.
I agree, man, but I think like you said it a couple times, and you make a great point of it that that's just not Game Freak's MO.
It's not. They wait for a console to have an install base. That's really what it comes down to.
Which I don't know. Like I get it.
Just go on, because I'm going to take care of this.
I think that what better way than to sell a new platform than, hey, we got a brand new Pokemon game that's exclusive on this new Nintendo hardware.
Yeah.
Better yet, bundle it with the system.
But dude, that honestly, if you sold whatever, we'll get into more NX talk later, I'm sure. But yeah, that would sell some consoles. But then they also dropped the bomb like, hey, like we know Saturday, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow is coming out to the 3DS eShop. But what we didn't know is that you're going to be able to upload your Pokemon that you catch in those versions, upload it to Pokemon Bank, and then be able to transfer those from Pokemon Bank down to Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
That's awesome.
So theoretically, you could literally get every single Pokemon ever in Pokemon Sun and Moon. So what we don't know is do you think that Nintendo's or Game Freak or the Pokemon Company, whoever like has the rights to like say what Pokemon go in what game, do you think we're going to see a new set of like not just like legendaries? Do you think we're going to get like 100 new Pokemon in this series? So
they're saying there's a bunch of rumors talking about it that we're going to see probably about 90 new Pokemon.
So like a new generation of Pokemon.
Yeah.
What generation does this end up becoming? Like 5 or 6?
I think it's 6.
Wow. So because I think there's like something like 750 or 770 Pokemon now.
Yeah.
Was it you? No, dude, one of my buddies.
We're going to ask about never playing Pokemon.
What?
We're going to say the whole, I can't believe you've never played Pokemon.
No,
you accused me the other day of never playing Pokemon. I did,
yeah, that was my buddy Jamal. No, my buddy Jake, he was telling me that they're getting ready to release like the original run of like the 150 Pokemon cards again. Did you hear about this?
You told me that.
Yeah.
That's super legit if they do that.
So apparently like they haven't announced it for the United States yet, but definitely in Japan. And like even if they're going to do that, I might still buy into some Japanese cards.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
Cool.
I would totally pick some up.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, are you excited for a new Pokemon game? Are you kind of disappointed that it is on 3DS and not on something new? Like, what do you think? I think I'm personally more excited to play through Red, Blue, and Yellow again than a new Pokemon game.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, I don't know. I'm super excited for that. Like, the whole nostalgia thing is like kind of kicking in. Like, I can't wait to play those 3 games. And I am really excited for what we're going to see out of Sun and Moon. But I don't know. I actually didn't even end up picking up, what was it, Omalpha or Alpha Omega, like Ruby, like those like remakes that they did?
Yeah.
Did you pick those up?
No, I didn't even really play like Ruby or Sapphire.
Okay.
So I didn't have like the nostalgia. I'm going to open up a drink here, guys. Sorry. So I didn't like have the nostalgia factor that would make me want to buy like a remake of a game that I never played.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them do. Well, I guess they did Soul Silver and Heart Gold on Game Boy Advance. Was it Game Boy Advance or was that DS? I think it may have been DS, but
Gold and Silver.
Yeah, the Soul Silver and Heart
Game
Gold.
Boy Advance. Right.
Well, Silver was originally Game Boy, but somehow like when you plugged it into a Game Boy
Color, it wasn't Game Boy
color.
Advance. It was Game Boy.
It was Game Boy, but if you plugged into a Game Boy Color, like it gave you full color.
Yeah.
But what did they release Heart Gold and Soul Silver on?
Oh, that was DS.
Was it original DS?
Yep. Because it came with the little Poké Walkers.
Yeah, like I wish I would have picked that up because I love Gen 2 Pokemon.
You can actually still find them, believe it or not, like out there, like in some stores. Like I was actually at Best Buy maybe about like 6 months ago, and they had probably about like 7 or 8 copies of Soul Silver, like the Poké Walker, like that whole package.
Pick up too.
Yeah, if you look on eBay, dude, they're pretty stupid prices, like $50-$60. But you can find them in some stores every now and then. Just every time I go to Walmart or some shit like that, I always just kind of walk through and take a look to see if anybody has anything.
Dude, apparently Target has been trying to get rid of handheld game libraries recently.
Yeah.
So if you guys are ever looking for a deal on 3DS or DS games, make sure you check out your local Target because they'll mark that shit down to $5 just to get rid of it.
Yeah, somebody I saw posted on a couple different trading forums. Target had a bunch of games clearance for 99 cents, like $1, and they're all 3DS games, Vita games.
I don't know why they do it, but yeah, Vita games too.
Why wouldn't they put that stuff on their eBay page and they'd probably sell it for more money there? It just blows my mind, man. They have that buy one get two free game event, which makes 0 sense.
I think they did an Amiibo thing recently too. Where
really?
There was,
they had Amiibos marked down pretty $5 and stuff like that.
So yeah, that's the Pokemon talk I think for the week.
Coming out this fall, 3DS.
Yep, and then by the time this podcast goes up, you guys will have access to Blue, Red, and Yellow on the eShop.
Yep, $10 each.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I wish they would have given a discount, hey, get all three for $25.
Yeah, they did that with Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons. It's if you bought both, you save some money. I don't know why they wouldn't offer a combo. I mean, they know people are going to buy them and pay the full price, so I don't feel like they need to try to incentivize people to do it. Maybe that's why.
So,
which one are you going to get?
What are you talking about?
Where are you going to start? Red, blue, or yellow?
Well, if you're going to go red, I think I might go blue.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I did blue when I was, when I started.
So, the more important question.
Back in, 98 or whatever.
Who's your starting Pokemon?
So, it's funny that you asked that, because I was getting ready to do that, based upon your Facebook post. We kind of joked about it earlier. I know that if you start with, Bulbasaur, hey, you have an easy road for the first couple badges.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I did as a kid. I started with Bulbasaur.
Yeah, so, I like Charmander, because he's cool.
You're going to get wrecked, though.
Yeah, the first two badges are going to be, super tough. And even, the third badge, that's the lightning guy, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I don't know. I think I'll probably end up going with, do I want to make it hard for me? Here's how I kind of equate this. You know how when you play Fire Emblem Fates?
Yeah.
So Birthright is supposed to be, the easy path. And then if you want to, more of a challenge, you go with Conquest. And then when the DLC comes out next month for what's called Revelations or something.
Yes, yeah, March 8th.
Okay, that's somewhere in between. So I feel if you go with Bulbasaur, that's Birthright.
Okay.
Okay, if you go with Charmander, that's your Conquest.
Okay.
And then Squirtle's Revelations, whatever. I'll probably end up going with. I don't like Blastoise.
No?
Yeah, I don't really I'm gonna go with Charmander, I think. I'm gonna play a little bit more difficult. That game doesn't take long to beat, 9-10 hours.
Oh yeah, dude, not at all.
Which actually makes me think of dude, I've been playing through Pokemon Y again.
Nice.
And when I play through that, I have 3, almost 4 badges. I'm already 12 hours into the game. Not even halfway through the game. And I've already spent 4 hours more than it ever took me to beat Pokemon Red or Blue.
Dude, X and Y were so good. I was really happy with those two games.
I've never played through it all because I don't have time to put 20 hours into a handheld game right now, and haven't for the last few years. But yeah, so who's your starting Pokemon?
Oh, Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur?
I'm gonna go old school. Yep, no doubt, man.
When you were younger, which version did you own first?
Red.
Red? Okay,
yeah.
So that's why you're going to go red?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll probably go blue.
Alright, cool. Let's do it.
Alright, so what's next on here?
So a couple things. We had a huge game launch last week with Fire Emblem Fates.
Yeah, we kind of just talked about that.
Yeah, no doubt. Nintendo actually had some good feedback about this, that in the first 3 days of sales, that they sold 5 times more than they did of the weekend launch of Awakening. Which kind of not a fair comparison for 2 reasons. The obvious being the fact that there was only 1 game for Awakening. Mm-hmm. There's 2 games for Fates with Birthright and Conquest. But then also, too, Nintendo wasn't really sure how Awakening was going to do. It was the first time in a very long time that we had gotten a Fire Emblem game. The one before that being, I think, Shadow Dragon for the DS, which did not sell well at all.
Yeah.
And fun fact for you guys, I don't even know if you know this, when Intelligent Systems was making Awakening, they were on the impression it was going to be the last game that they ever made for Fire Emblem for that franchise, because it had not sold that well with the previous outing. So they put all their heart and soul into this game. They tossed in every single feature they ever wanted to put in a Fire Emblem game inside of there. And when it came out, dude, it was received super well. And I think that's the second problem, is that there wasn't a lot of copies to go around. I remember you talking about it previously, like you couldn't find a copy anywhere. And I think that's like also not fair. Nintendo probably didn't produce a lot of copies of it like when it came out.
Yeah.
There was much more of an anticipation for Fates than there was for Awakening when it launched. Way more pre-orders, special edition that sold out super early. So, I don't know, it's not a fair comparison for them to give those numbers, I think, but it's good information. Like, it shows that the franchise is doing well.
It's healthy.
And we're going to definitely get more.
I was going to ask a question.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what it was.
Oh, awesome, man. Makes for a good podcast material.
Yeah. So, anyways. If I think of it all, I think of it. It had something to do with Fire Emblem, but whatever. Moving on. I had some, like, good banter.
Oh, yeah, dude, I could tell.
Total good banter. There's something under my foot.
Yeah, it's a cat.
You have a squeaky toy underneath your rug here.
Do I?
It was like a squeaker that was pulled out of a toy.
It doesn't surprise me. Like, Kayla's cat PJ is always, like, knocking shit around all over the house. Whoa.
Don't fuck around.
Your cat's trying to jack your vape
It's your
machine.
cat.
Oh, my cat, I mean.
We're at your house.
Kayla's cat. But
All
yeah,
right.
that's Fire Emblem talk.
Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Some interesting stuff about Bravely Second, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, the game comes out just came out in Europe, and it's getting great reviews. Nintendo Life just gave it a 9 out of 10. And the second one comes out here April 15th.
Sounds right. Yeah, I think you were saying that last episode.
What did you read, man? What's kind of cool? Where are you checking out?
Well, you found it.
Okay, I was just trying to set you up.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, all right.
That's cool. I want to take the ball and run with it in the opposite direction.
Yeah, pretty much. I was trying to segue that conversation.
No, that's cool. So Bravely Second, if you purchase or if you download the demo and play through it, and then you purchase the game digitally, Nintendo of Europe is going to give you 10% off the digital game, which I think is super fucking cool.
Yeah, because I mean, you generally don't get pre-order like discounts or incentives like that. So I think
Especially not from Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely been pushing like the envelope with this whole Bravely Default and Bravely Second. I remember when the first one came out, I had like a 4-hour demo or something, and stuff you did in that demo unlocked like money and all this other stuff in the game.
Yep.
Super cool. So they're definitely like taking it to another level when it comes to demos.
Yeah. I remembered my thought from the Fire Emblem conversation.
Oh, perfect.
But now I forgot again.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding. So,
why is your keyboard silver, by the way? That really throws me off.
I don't know, man. Asus just wants to be like, they just want to stand out, yeah.
But it does stand out. Well, I guess it's like the opposite. I have a silver computer with a black keyboard.
Hey, man. We're all fighting the same battle here.
Hey, so speaking of...
I'm going to forget my thing again.
That's all right, dude. Kayla probably wasn't... Kayla was talking about her hard drive on her computer. She thinks it's going bad. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, hey, why don't you take my Mac?
Oh, man.
And I can get a new computer.
She probably like wanted to punch you square in the face.
I want that 15.4 inch back with that dedicated graphics card.
That would be pretty baller.
Dude, that would work so well for Twitch, too.
It would. I would be super fucking jealous.
I never should have.
Give it back?
Gave it back.
I told you, man. Like, it was like episode 2 of the podcast. I'm like, yo, dude, just consider it an investment.
I know.
Think how close you'd be to paying it off right now.
Like, this is the thing, too. Like, when I got it, like, I returned to this computer, so that was like, $1,300 or $1,200 towards it already. So, I mean, technically, I was only paying like $1,000 for the computer.
It would probably be paid off already.
Dude, would have completely been paid off by now. And I made such a mistake.
You fucked up. Because
Kayla gave me a hard time, but it wasn't a hard time.
Honestly,
hard time. It was just hey, are you really going to keep that? I can't believe you spent that much money on a computer. I'm like, hey, well, it was only like $1,000 on our credit card because I was applying this computer towards that one. Now, if I got it, dude, it's just like straight up $2,400.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of what I can sell to put towards this computer.
Oh my gosh. Well, I would almost recommend, this is getting like deep into tech talk, but that's fine. We'll segue for a second. Or pivot anyways. What you should do is highly consider a Surface Book instead.
You know what?
Couple reasons.
Well, the only problem is I could get a Surface Book. I could get the dedicated GPU model, which is like $1,900.
Let's do it.
But I think that one only comes with half the memory, 256 versus 512. I don't think it comes with as powerful of a graphics card. And I mean, I like Mac.
We'll wrap because you almost need PC for Twitch.
You do, but I have like the option of both right now.
Right. That's true. I guess you could boot camp. All right. So my question:
what's going to be a better built machine?
Nobody's arguing that. Well, the Surface Book is
really nice.
So I don't know. We'll talk about it later. But anyways, my question is: do you think Nintendo purposely, with the case of Fire Emblem Awakening, do you think it was hard to find in the stores because they didn't anticipate it selling so well and being so greatly received, or do you think that they really want to force people to buy physical? This goes for all of Nintendo's games.
You mean digital?
Correct.
Yeah, like I think that's a great point because like what's really funny about that conversation though, I remember when people came in to purchase that, and we were all sold out like where I worked. Like I mentioned that I'm like, hey man, I was like, just get it digitally, bro. I was like, you're not getting an instruction manual in the game. Like, what does it matter? Mm-hmm. And like, you'd be amazed out of the amount of people that came in looking for it, you know, and everyone was sold out. It's not like you could have left us and went to a competitor and bought somewhere else. Nobody wanted it. Like, I'll wait for the physical copy. Yeah. And I think it kind of harkens back to like, we're not out of like the physical digital battle yet.
I think it's even more so though with Nintendo.
Yeah,
people want to have
Nintendo. People want physical stuff. Yeah. Absolutely, man. No, I completely agree. But I don't know. Like, I think you're kind of right. I think that they were kind of testing to see once, hey, would people just buy it off of our digital shop?
I mean, they stand to make more money, even by Nintendo of Europe giving a 10% discount on the digital copy of the game for Bravely Second. They still stand to make more money than giving the fucking retailers their cut of the profit.
Yeah.
You know, you figure $40 or, 30 euros or whatever it costs. It's a $4 or a €3 you dip in profit or in like just net total gross there. You're going to give a larger cut of that to retailers for selling it for you. So, I don't know. That's a little too inside baseball for this. But anyways, Let's head over to rumors, because there's a lot of rumors that are kind of circulating about NX and partnerships potentially, and just staffers at certain publications giving information. So, a rumor that Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake may be coming to NX, with the NX being more powerful than the PS4, and also that the versions of these Final Fantasy games will be the definitive versions, the versions that you want or need to have the complete Final Fantasy experience.
Now, they're saying they're going to be the definitive because the NX is
the most powerful.
Potentially going to be the more powerful of the three systems.
Right, that's what I'm gathering from this Nintendo Life article that posted about a week ago. So I don't know how much stock we can put into this, because we know that Square Enix is working on a Dragon Quest game that will probably be coming to NX. Definitely coming to 3DS, Dragon Quest 11.
Oh, yeah.
We know that it's coming to PS4. We know that it's coming to 3DS. Square kind of let it slip that, hey, like maybe this thing's in development for NX. Which maybe leads us to believe that Square has dev kits already. But the fact that the NX is potentially more powerful than even a PlayStation 4, that's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility.
And I mean, like, this is like a pretty, like, where did this rumor come from? Do you remember?
So there's a gentleman, I have his name, gotta get back to the outline, by the name of Liam Robertson. He also posted our next rumor. Liam Robertson is as far as I can tell, a Nintendo Life staffer who's got really good relationships with people in the business, and they trust him, and he doesn't give out his source. So this is where this is coming from, a Nintendo Life staffer who apparently gets inside information. And we'll get back to him in a second. But I think this is super interesting for Final Fantasy, which is for the most part, we haven't seen a Final Fantasy game other than like remakes and ports. And Crystal Chronicles. What'd you say?
Final Fantasy Explorers on the 3DS.
And Explorers, sorry.
Like these like offshoot Final Fantasy games. Not like a core. Series. Yeah, not a core game.
We haven't seen since 6.
Yeah.
So to get Final Fantasy 15, literally 10 Final Fantasy games later, finally back on Nintendo. Like,
well, Nintendo has such a great partnership with like Square Enix from like the handheld side of the business.
If you look at Bravely Second and Bravely Default, published by Nintendo. but developed by Square, at least in America.
Yeah. Like, it's not going to be hard for Nintendo to convince Square Enix to port these games over to the NX. Like, it's brand new hardware that people are going to be super excited about. They're going to want games to play on this hardware. So when they don't have a lot of choices potentially, and they're going to have new Final Fantasy games to play on these systems.
Right, and especially if these games are available at launch, or at least if 15 is, because 7's still probably a while out.
Yep.
And also, doubly especially, if that NX is built on the same or similar architecture as Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah.
Which is that PC x86 architecture. Sorry, I just want to amend my statement. It was not the other gentleman that I said. It was Super Metal Dave 64 who got this information and sent it over to Nintendo Life, which we'll get back to Super Metal Dave 64 in a minute. But Michael, anything else you want to add to that, or you want to move on to the next one?
Nothing else really to add. I guess the only thing I could say about this that lends in Square Enix's favor and Nintendo's favor. We've had these conversations before about how nostalgia can go far away, and sometimes games do feel just right on a certain system. And to me, it's tough because the Final Fantasy franchise and the Dragon, Quest franchise, they almost feel like Sony games at this point, and I almost feel like I would just instinctively buy them on the PS4.
Looking at Final Fantasy 15's gameplay trailers and the demo.
I'm getting it on Xbox or PS4, 100%.
I cannot see.
It's going to be out.
Holding a controller in my hand that says Nintendo on it. I can't see playing that game that I saw.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 15. I can't see it on a Nintendo console.
No, I agree, man. Plus, too, when are we going to be able to play it on a Nintendo console? We still know nothing about the NX.
Well, we should be getting
when it's going to launch.
We should probably know the release date for 15 by E3.
No, we'll know it by March 30th.
Shit, you're right. Yeah,
we'll know in
their event.
A little over a month. We'll know the release date.
Okay, so we'll know it within a month. So if we see Final Fantasy 15, let's say that game comes out this holiday, we're given an exact date or a time period?
Exact date. They're announcing the release date for the game on March 30th. It's 100% done. The game's finished.
Oh, so they're just holding on to it.
They've announced that the game is finished. They've been very aggressively inquiring in markets around, what's more important to you if you could only choose one, Final Fantasy 15 or Persona 5. And we just talked about Famitsu just had an announcement where the most anticipated game right now in Japan is Final Fantasy 15.
They're probably trying to get this thing out there quick.
Yeah, I think that gives them the advantage. We've talked about this before, to where, not on this podcast, but on our other one, where I don't think that Square has this announcement on March 30th to say, hey, this game's coming out in 6 months.
Yeah.
I think they say, hey, this game's coming out in 3 months, 4 months.
You think they're going to pull Bethesda with Fallout 4?
Yeah, they because why would they have an event in March if they could just wait a month or 2 months and announce it at E3?
That's true.
There's no point to that.
Yeah.
And if they come out and say that this game's coming out in November. Then they're Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
They're really, really good Pop-Tarts.
Really good Pop-Tarts. Yeah, so this game will probably be late summer then, you think?
Oh, dude, it has to.
Okay. So I guess that also, if we're talking NX, and if these rumors end up being true, then it wouldn't be a launch title. Well, it could be a launch title.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this game would be out before NX was released on other platforms.
Correct.
So how many people are left clamoring to play Final Fantasy 15 that want to wait to play it on NX?
I know, and I think that's a problem.
Yeah, I would definitely tend to agree. So, I don't know. Let us know what you guys think in the show feedback.
But, yeah, anyways, man, moving on.
So, Liam Robertson, this is where this guy's name comes into play. He is a Nintendo Life staffer. That part I didn't make up. Apparently, EA and Nintendo are going to have an unprecedented relationship when it comes to NX. I'm going to give you a few quotes, and then I'll let Michael fill you in with his skepticism of this story, this rumor. So Robertson discovered that the publisher is holding meetings with Nintendo next month, so sometime in March, and support for NX is a primary topic. These are all quotes, by the way. Nintendo is citing EA as a key ally when it comes to making its next console a success. It should come as no great shock to learn that EA has NX dev kits. Another point of contention involves hardware bundles. Traditionally, Nintendo doesn't bundle EA games with its consoles, unlike Microsoft and Sony. According to sources within EA, this is actually seen as something of an insult, and the company will be asking Nintendo to consider shipping NX consoles with leading EA sports titles such as FIFA and Madden. While this might smack of arrogance, it's a tactic that has worked well on rival hardware, so there's definitely logic to EA's reasoning. Michael, I want you to weigh in because I think you've got some thoughts here that I want to bounce off of you.
So I'll be honest, I was looking at that Surface Book information, so I wasn't really listening too much.
What do you think about EA and Nintendo rekindling their relationship?
So, like, I think this is like we've been there. We've
been there, done that?
Yes, we've been there, done that with Nintendo and EA. They had this exact same conversation when the Wii U came out. Unprecedented, relationship. We have all these games coming out. We saw a port of Mass Effect 3. We saw 1 year, that's it, of really support for the Nintendo Wii U. They completely stopped releasing all of their sports franchises on the Wii U. Shortly thereafter.
Unless EA knows something that we don't about NX, like what it is, maybe what the concept is, and that they could see this thing really turning heads and people buying them by, the dozen.
Well, I think, where, all these partnerships are going to come from is that, the architecture is going to be identical or near identical to the current platforms, which that was a problem before, is they don't want to have to dumb games down for the Wii U based off of making it for the Xbox One and PS4. So that's instant Nintendo. I mean, they're just going to port the game and make money. It's going to be easy sales for them. I think, I don't know. I think the bigger problem is Nintendo convincing people that they need to buy that game on an NX. I think that's where Nintendo's going to have a hard time with their third parties, is how do they convince gamers that they want to play on an NX and buy those third-party games on an NX instead of buying them on their Xbox One or PS4 where they already have a membership they're paying for. Potentially. They already have friends that they're playing with, potentially. Those systems, by the time the system launches, those systems have had 3 years to gain market share and customer loyalty. I mean, Nintendo has unprecedented customer loyalty from enthusiasts. But I mean, even those people they're probably using their Wii U as a secondary system and an Xbox. Me. Yeah, exactly. And Wii U isn't a phenomenal secondary system. If you only have one Xbox One or PS4 and you buy a second system, Wii U's an amazing system to have. Yeah, absolutely. There's some fantastic exclusive games.
I would say there's more value in owning either a Xbox One or a PS4, not both, and then owning a Wii U, as opposed to owning the other, either an Xbox One or PS4.
You're treading the same ground for the most part. Basically. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have your exclusive games like an Uncharted or like a Quantum Break. But for the most part, I mean, you're going to get way more exclusives on a Wii U and a reason to own that system over owning those other systems.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to the whole conversation. I don't know. I'm a wait and see approach. I think that we're going to see obvious rehashes of those games for the Nintendo platform. I think the bigger struggle for Nintendo is going to be securing exclusives.
What do you feel about the argument about if EA wants Nintendo to bundle in EA sports titles like FIFA or Madden into the box with an NX?
Nintendo won't do it.
So that's what they're saying. Is
they're only going to do first party.
Historically, Nintendo has never done that. They've bundled in Bayonetta,
Mario.
Was the
Did they do a Bayonetta bundle?
I don't fucking know. I'm probably just making.
I don't think they did, bro.
Point.
Not in America. I don't think
they've got Mario Kart. They've got Mario 3D World. They've got those games.
Yeah.
But if Nintendo wants to grow the market share, can you see them bundling in third-party games to show good faith to, number one, their third-party partners, but also two, not every Nintendo person exclusively wants to buy Nintendo games, and maybe they're more interested in a Madden to play the first time they launch up the system.
Dude, that's going to be so tough. It's going to be such a tough sell for those gaming studios. and for Nintendo to come to that arrangement. Like, Nintendo systems sell off of Nintendo exclusives.
Yeah.
They don't sell based off of third party. Like,
and I think that's Nintendo's mentality is like, hey, our games sell our system.
Yeah.
But maybe that is a little bit of pride and a little bit of arrogance on Nintendo's part.
But it's truth.
It's not dishonest.
Yeah.
But I think the hardcore gamer wants a breadth of games to play, and they might not all be Nintendo games. I, for example, like the occasional sports game. Okay?
You know, it's funny you mention that, dude. Like, I've really been thinking about one to, like, man, like, I loved playing, like, Madden back on Super Nintendo in the day, and we were just having a conversation. Were you there the other night? We were talking about the 2K games for the Dreamcast. Who was I with? I hang out with people other than you?
Maybe we were talking to that old dude.
Yeah, maybe. No, it wasn't him. But, like, no, dude, like, I really want to play a sports game.
Sports games are fun.
Yeah, they really are. But, yeah, like, so what were you saying, though? I'm sorry.
I don't know. Let's move on.
I totally derailed that one. That was my bad.
No, I think you're right. I don't think it would really... it wouldn't be advantageous for Nintendo to release bundles with third-party games, because that's not what's going to sell their system.
Yeah.
But I also think Nintendo needs to get that mentality out of their head, and so they understand, like, hey, like, you need support from third parties to keep your system viable for a longer period of time.
But now, maybe if they think, like, too, maybe what if for Christmas, like, Microsoft has done a phenomenal job of this, and I think this is where they decimate Sony in this regards, is giving customers options. Mm-hmm. We saw so many hardware bundles this year from Microsoft, regardless of how, well received some were. I mean, the Fallout bundle, that was a great opportunity, right? Like, I mean, people bought that system because of Fallout and a terabyte hard drive.
It's crazy, though.
The Tomb Raider bundle.
It's crazy if you look at it, like, what game was it? Star Wars Battlefront. Mm-hmm. Huge marketing push behind, from Sony for Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah. Like, they made you think it was an exclusive to the PS4.
Star Wars Battlefront sold more on Xbox One than it did on PS4.
Did it really?
Fallout 4, huge marketing push from Microsoft. Had exclusive, potentially, it was eventually going to come, mod support on Xbox One.
Yeah.
Sold more on PS4. Like, two things that you would think, like, should have been the opposite.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyways, I forget what point I was
making. I just feel it's, like, so shitty, too, by the way, of EA to come out and, like, have this big conversation of Star Wars Battlefront is going to shift 13 million copies or whatever, and then they bundle it with PS4, so of course it's going to shift 13 million copies.
Well,
like, that's just stupid.
They could ship them all they want. It doesn't mean that they're not going to be sitting on store shelves.
Right, or that people actually want to play that piece of crap game.
Oh, actually, I wanted to make an amendment to something that we had said on a previous Nintencast.
Yeah.
So we had said that Nintendo had sold through 40 million amiibo. Actually, they have shipped 40 million amiibo. So there's a difference between sold through and shipped.
Oh, yeah.
So
I didn't realize that we said that.
If you guys want to, like, go to your local retail store, you'll probably see about half of that 40 million sitting on your store shelves. But hey, Nintendo already made their money by just shipping them out to those retailers.
Oh, dude, completely, man.
So you look like you found something.
Yeah, I really like this.
All right. All right. The last kind of, like, big rumor that we have, and then I'll let Michael take over for a second to talk about something that he found, was that, once again, Super Metal Dave pops up in our rumor feed. Claims that NX will be out this year, and it looks like it's probably going to be the console. So he does have a solid track record when it comes to reporting on Nintendo leaks.
Yeah.
You guys can find, he's got, there's a article posted at Kotaku on this whole situation, and a thread over at NeoGAF talking about this. He listed a whole bunch of information, like what their marketing budget's going to be for Zelda, for 3DS, for Wii U throughout the entire year. The fact that NX will be out in 2016, it looks like it's going to be the console. Let me pull up this article. Michael, talk about something while I'm looking for this, so there's no white noise in the background, or I could just keep blabbering on and on and on about nothing.
Man, I'm trying to figure out which colored case I want to buy for my Mac.
All right, so you don't have to continue doing it. I found it. Okay, so
perfect.
Nintendo NX launch games for 2016 will include Wii U's Zelda, or as he's attributed it, NX Zelda. The Wii U will have a marketing budget. This is all like super inside baseball shit. Wii U will have a marketing budget of $34.5 million. Zelda will take up $10 million of those dollars. I just closed out of it somehow.
The 3DS was going to have a $57 million budget.
Yes, thank you.
And the Wii U is going to have a 24?
No, 34.
34.
Yeah, I already said that.
Oh, you did?
You weren't paying attention.
No, it really wasn't.
There it is. Some games that we might see. This is the 3DS. Mario and Sonic Rio Olympics 2016. Nintendo Selects Wave 1 is going to be coming. Hyrule Warriors Legends. Disney Art Academy Bravely Second. Codename Caviar F. We don't know what that is yet, but it's going to be an all-ages budget game. Metroid Prime Federation Force, which everybody is super fucking...
They just need to scrap that game, dude.
They really do.
Don't release it.
Just don't do it. Or release it, but call it something like...
Yeah.
Fuckface, stupid boy. I don't know.
Like, you remember when Final Fantasy... You ever see Final Fantasy Spirits Within?
Yeah.
Okay, not a bad movie.
Don't call it Final Fantasy.
Don't call it Final Fantasy. Call it something, anything else.
Yeah.
Like, Final Fantasy was used just to sell that movie, to get people to go see it. And
it tricked people into seeing it.
Oh, yeah, dude. I spent the entire day watching it, 5 times in a row. Don't call this Metroid. There's no need to associate this with Metroid.
There's not.
Is Retro even working on this game?
Nope, not even involved.
So then why even bother calling it? You're tarnishing the brand. Why would you hurt the brand of Metroid?
So I don't know if it's fair to say because Retro isn't working on it that
wasn't the point I was making necessarily.
I know, but I don't want people to get that idea.
Sure. Either. Well, I don't know. I kind of agree with it almost in a way.
Yeah.
Retro has an amazing track record of games.
For Prime games, though.
Well, look at the 2 Donkey Kong games that they made.
True.
Tropical Freeze was amazing. Cat staring into your soul.
It really is. Just directly into my...
it's not to say that other people can't make a good Metroid game, because they can. Clearly, we've had games...
But not with this.
Yeah, just don't release this game, or like you said, just call it something else. Change the name of it. Release it quietly. There's no point.
$10 eShop game.
That'd be perfect.
Awesome. Online
or make it free and then make that submarine game. Let people buy shit for it.
Deep Silver.
Yeah, whatever. It's not Deep Silver.
Deep Diver. Steel Diver.
Steel Diver. There you go, dude. Nice. You're awesome, man.
Silver Sun Pickups. That's a band or something. Yeah. Codename Tort City. It's a big budget, unannounced game for all gamers. Core, all ages. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, I don't really know either.
Dragon Quest VII will be out on 3DS this summer as well.
I'm so excited for that, dude.
Codename Cadillac. And in the fall, we will see a 3DS hardware price cut. What?
Dude, so that's an indicator of a couple things, right?
A couple of awesome things.
So I guess, first question is, I don't remember reading, is it the actual new 3DS or just the 3DS?
Man. I think 3DS means the family of 3DS.
So they're all going to get a price cut.
So I think what we'll see is
2DS going down,
$79.99 permanently. I think we will see the 3DS. Do they sell the non-XL one anymore in North America?
Nintendo's online store does.
So if they're still selling that, it drops to
150.
No, they get rid of it. They drop the 3DS. XL to $149.99. The new 3DS XL
$174.99.
$174.99. And then we will see. And this is where it gets interesting. If NX handheld comes out this year, I know you're shaking your head, but if it does, $200. But it's time for a 3DS hardware price cut, anyways. I think even for the new 3DS.
I think they do. I think that they need to drop the price in it. I don't think necessarily that it is going to mean that we're going to see a handheld NX come out.
No?
No. I think that, they're getting the holiday season, competitive price. It's been out for a while. Let's drop the price on it. We haven't had a price drop on a 3DS in a while. Mm-hmm. And I think that they have to release... The handheld is more stable than the console is. Business-wise. They have to release the console this year. If they don't, they're too far behind. They release it next year. They're in year 4 of current gen.
We've been talking a lot recently that we've been thinking that the handheld is going to come out first, and it's been for a couple reasons. Number one, the 3DS has been out longer than the Wii U. Okay, but as we think and talk and look at it a little bit more, we see that 3DS is doing just fine for now. It can probably make it another year.
The 3DS?
Yeah. 3DS can make it another year if Nintendo really tried. Or they don't even really have to try. The thing fucking basically sells itself.
Yep.
But they need to push out. They need to push out something. So if we don't get a handheld this year, I think we definitely get the console. If we don't get both, because I think there's a potential that we get both at the same time. They might just release this thing as an NX, and it's fucking everything, and it's $350, and you get everything. We don't know. We know nothing about it, which, once again, begs me to beg Nintendo to please give me some fucking answers about what this thing is.
Yeah, Nintendo can't wait until E3. We've talked about this at length.
April 1st at the latest. I want to see something in March.
There's just so much stuff that Nintendo is going to get buried under that's happening in the next couple months. I mean, Sony releases arguably probably their biggest game of the entire year, and Nintendo's so mum about information. Yes, we get it. It's the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. Let's keep riding that train. It's the 30th anniversary of Zelda. And we've yet to hear anything about the Zelda franchise. We've yet to hear anything from Nintendo about what are their plans going forward. I think you draw so much criticism, negativity, doubt from consumers when you just don't say anything at all. It's you're guilty, but you don't even come out and say, I'm innocent. You just sit back and let people make whatever judgments they want to make about you without you giving your own, point of view. Nintendo has to make an announcement, and they have to do this soon. I can't imagine what they're doing as a PR company right now, sitting back and just saying, hey, fuck it. Let's not talk about shit. Let's just people imagine and wonder what the fuck's going to happen. Let's let all these rumors get out there and confuse people. And let's not even talk about the fact that we have a new system probably coming out this year. It blows my mind, dude.
Nintendo needs to take control of the information surrounding the NX, because the point that it gets out of hand is the point where people start expecting too much.
Yep.
And Nintendo's not ever able to deliver on any of those quote-unquote promises. These expectations that are unmanageable, basically.
Oh, yeah, and that's where they're at right now, man. They're in a situation where people are going to go one way or the other. They're going to be super over expecting, and they're not going to get delivered anything that they want,
or super underwhelmed and just don't even give a shit.
Yeah, they just don't care. It's
they lost
I'm going to go Xbox One, PS4, and just keep rocking out those, or PC.
You know what's going to be the worst thing for Nintendo for me is if this thing doesn't become this hybrid style device that come together as one Transformer style or whatever. You know what I mean? If it doesn't do that, if it's not a Wii U gamepad that you can put in your pocket and it works like a Wii U, but you can take it on the go, I'm going to be super disappointed, because this is the conversation that we've been having since the start of the Nintencast.
Yep.
Is that you can connect these two things together. If it's not that, then the fucking speculation that's out on the internet that Nintendo was not able to control led me to believe that, and if it's not that, I'm going to be super disappointed.
Hey, man, why didn't they do that instead? Hey, why didn't they have the combination, the two hardware? It's been just so much misinformation from all these different outlets. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens, dude. I'm not holding my breath, though, to be honest with you.
All right, Michael, let's take a quick break.
You got it, man. You got to go vape?
I do.
All right,
and when we come back, I think we're done with the news and rumors. Is there one more thing on here? Did I just skip something?
Yeah, or feature, bro.
Yeah, that's what we're going to come back for.
All right, sounds good, guys.
Back, we'll talk about our feature.
You got it. Stay tuned.
And thanks for hanging with us through the break, guys. As promised, as I'm throwing away around fruit snacks,
we're back.
And we are going to talk about our favorite Nintendo games of all time. Now, did we decide first party or just exclusives?
So, you made me feel like I was obligated to choose first party.
Okay.
Since I said I wouldn't choose like third party exclusives for Nintendo platforms.
So you went with exclusives.
I went with exclusives, first party only.
I appreciate it.
You got it, man. You gonna go?
If you feel like
alternate?
Yeah, this is not for me in any specific order.
Yeah, either of mine.
Okay. So I gotta throw out Super Mario World. So I know that's probably gonna be on both of our lists.
Already on my list as well too. It was actually the first game I typed out.
Fucking love that game.
Dude.
Game has infinite replayability.
I remember the first time I flew with the cape, dude. Like mine was blown.
Right?
God, like there's so many different like avenues of how you can like take on like a world as well too, like a different like level with the keys, like igniting the blocks. Like, just so much, like, hidden stuff inside of that game, man.
That's the biggest thing about that game that I'll say. Like, no Mario game has gotten it right since Mario World, is that there were so many different exits and so many different routes
ghost
you could
castles,
take to complete that
like,
game.
Oh, my God.
Like, I wish they would make, like, I think New Super Mario Bros. U was the closest thing to Super Mario World since Super Mario World.
You think so?
And not because, like, because New Super Mario U didn't have, like, secret, like, endings to levels. Like,
yeah.
You couldn't find a key. But, like, just, like, the map layout. Like, that was one huge thing for Super Mario World for me.
Okay.
Was that map layout. Like,
oh, dude, the map layout was awesome. And I'm glad they brought that back with Super Mario U.
Yeah, like, that, I think that's why it feels the closest to me.
Yeah.
If that game would have had secret, like, exits to levels and branching paths to progress through the game, that would have been the perfect sequel to Super Mario World for me.
Yeah.
Fucking love that game.
Dude, it was amazing, man. Like, I remember the first time ever, like, going through one of, like, the castles, and, like, you pounded on that fence that you're climbing on, and it, like, flipped you around, dude, and you're, like, on the other side of the fence. You dropped the fruit snack, bro?
I'm still gonna eat that shit, though.
Nah, dude, I don't blame you, man. But anyways, yeah, dude, Super Mario World. I mean, like, all the, like, worlds, like, within that, too, felt, like, unique and different. Like, it didn't feel like a rehash of everything. I'll be honest with you, man. Like, when I picked up my Wii U, I convinced Kayla to buy it, because I wanted Wind Waker, so I bought the Zelda edition. It was just on a whim, man. We're at Best Buy, just hanging out, like, buying some, like, charging cords for our phone or something. And, like, they had one sitting on the shelf. I'm like, man, that system's going to be a limited edition. It's going to be gone soon. Like, I need it. And, I mean, I'm a diehard Nintendo fan. I can't believe I'd waited that long, to be honest with you. But I convinced her because I'm like, hey, we can get Super Mario Wii U and, like, play that together. And we did. And, like, I don't know what it was, man. When they first relaunched New Super Mario Brothers for the DS, like, back in the day, I went and bought that game the day it came out, and I played for like 3 or 4 straight hours, man. I could not get enough. Like, classic 2D Mario, side-scrolling, like, platforming.
And it was good.
It was such a great game. And I feel so burnt out by the time we got the sequel for the 3DS.
Yep.
By the time we got the 2 for the Wii U and the Wii.
And the Wii, yep.
Like, I just, like, it wasn't different enough. I mean, like, the lead, whatever it was, where you could, like, the raccoon thing, where you could kind of, like, float, and, like, it's just dumb. Yeah. Like, I wasn't feeling like... I mean,
it just felt like something was missing.
Yeah.
It didn't have that same, like, come play me factor.
It didn't, man. It didn't like...
call to you.
Yeah, there was nothing, like, that did that for a Mario game until the one came out for the Wii U, the 3D Super Mario World.
And I think the real hook for that game was going through the levels and making sure that I got all the star coins.
Yes. Oh my, I can't tell you how many levels. Like, because Kayla and I played through the whole game together. The game, first off, looked amazing.
Oh, yeah, it really did.
God, like, even today, it's, like, one of the best-looking games, like, of any gen. But, like, you know, Kayla and I playing together, I can't tell you how many times we, like, replayed level after level after level trying to get every star. So,
yeah.
It was a great game, man. But, yeah, back Super Mario World, one of the best games of all time.
Yep. I would say definitely, like, top... For me, it's my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, if I had to give, like, a top 10 of every game I've ever played in my entire life, it'd be in my top 5.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to put that game any higher. I mean, like, any, like, lower.
Any lower, yeah. I think for me, it would squarely probably sit at number 1.
It's a great game, man. I can keep going back today and play that game and have a ton of fun with it.
Why don't you go ahead? I gave away that one, so let's see if yours matches up with mine.
Yeah, so second on my list is going to be Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Okay.
Arguably, that would be my number one game on every single list I'd ever create. Such an amazing game.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time loading up that game. Same thing. I was young. I had just gotten some like birthday money or something, and I went and I got Link to the Past, and I like sat there and like my parents actually they went into you remember Fazoli's?
Yeah.
They went into Fazoli's to grab lunch. I sat in the car the entire time looking through the manual and reading and absorbing I skipped going to Fazoli's and getting unlimited breadsticks to just read this manual. My parents like they made fun of me so bad when I got back in the car.
I'll never understand.
No, dude, like I just remember like pounding that game on for the first time, and like you hear like this rain coming down on the house. I'm like, dude, what is that? That is so cool. And you go out into this like world and just like, oh man, like the game, like Dark World, Light World is just like such a huge game, man. Such like an epic adventure. I can't tell you how many times I've beaten that game. Like it's disgusting how many times I've beaten that game.
I played quite a bit of Link to the Past. I don't know that I know that I've never completed it, and it's a problem to this day that I've not beaten such a gem. You know what I mean?
That's disheartening to hear.
It is disheartening. It's disheartening for me. I have to live with myself. At least you don't have to live.
I don't know how you do.
Neither do I. But yeah, that's definitely. I think most people would probably put that on like a top 10 list, assuming they grew up in an era where they had an opportunity to play that game. I'm going to go with, for my second choice.
Yes.
Kind of sticking with that Super Mario World theme.
Here we go. Wait, let me guess. So, Super Mario theme?
Super Mario World theme.
Oh, Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island. Arguably the best platformer ever made. So, a lot of... What?
More so than Super Mario World?
So, Super Mario World had different hooks for me.
Okay.
The hooks were beating the game. The hooks were finding the secret, like, exits to the levels.
Star World?
Going to Star World and getting to each level in the Star World. Like, those were the hooks. Like, all the secrets. Yoshi had a different hook. Yoshi had a level rating. And you had a potential of getting 100 points on every level. By collecting stars. By collecting flowers. And by collecting red coins.
Yep.
So like it was always a hook for me, like, hey, I gotta try to get 100 on every single level. And the jumping, the fact that you've got little baby Mario on your back.
Transform into different vehicles.
Exactly. Like,
so cool, dude.
There were so many elements to that game, and none of it ever got old. Like, everything was fresh. They teased you enough with it to like leave you wanting more. But not gave it to you more, like, gave it to you too much that you said, like, hey, like, this is way too fucking much. Like, a lot of people argue with Batman Arkham Knight that there was way too much Batmobile shit. I never felt that way with Yoshi's Island, that they gave you too much of one thing and then like you got burnt out on it. Arguably one of the best platformers ever made. If you had to make a list of your favorite platformers, whether it be a 3D platformer or a 2D platformer, what would you say would be your number one?
Number one platformer of all time?
Platformer of all
like
time.
2D or 3D?
Yep. And like, what do we have? You've got like the Spyro franchise. You've got like the Crash Bandicoot franchise. You've got 3D and 2D Mario. Like, some people might say like, hey, like Mario Galaxy might be like their favorite platformer of all time.
Man, that's a great game too, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how did I forget Super Mario Galaxy? Man.
Like,
number one platformer.
Who would have thought like Yoshi would have been a star and like to that level, like that, I don't know, just it was amazing. Like,
I mean, Yoshi was huge after Super Mario World when they first introduced him. Man, I don't know.
Best platformer.
That's
I know I'm kind of like...
I'd have to think about
giving
this
you
thing.
a curveball.
There's so many great games you can think about. You have like the Ratchet and Clank franchise, the Jak and Daxter franchise.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, and these are all like
oh my gosh,
Nintendo era games.
Oh, yes. That's too hard to think about right now, man.
Yeah.
I can't give you an answer.
But no, like, I think if we look at the platforming genre as a whole, and just like as a whole rather, fucking Yoshi's Island, man, that's some platforming and I fucking loved it.
Oh, dude, completely. It's oh man, like, and that game like was one of the. the only games that Nintendo still can't emulate on any of their systems because of that Mode 7 or the Super FX chip. They just can't figure out how to emulate that game because of how awesome it is. That's what I'm going to believe.
And I've noticed too, I said it on the stream when I was playing the game on the Twitch stream, and I don't know. I'm guessing that the FX whatever chip, it probably had some kind of sound chip or sound card in there as well. Because I noticed that when I'm playing that game on an emulator on my computer, it just doesn't sound quite right.
Really?
There's something a little bit off about it. I don't know if you can tell when you're listening to it, or if it's just because I'm using a computer with potentially a shitty audio card or a sound card. But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, it just doesn't sound quite right. But anyways,
okay. I'm not a pirate. I've never played that game on an emulator.
I explained myself. I own that game physically.
Yes.
Anyways,
I totally believe you.
Go on. What is your next game?
Next game up is going to be Super Metroid.
Okay.
Have you ever played Super Metroid?
Another great platformer. I guess
yeah, absolutely. Oh god, dude, that's right. Dang. Super Metroid, man. Metroid was one of my favorite games as a kid growing up, and Super Metroid just blew my mind as well when it came out. Just everything about it. The game just looked and played so much better than Metroid and Metroid 2, The Return of Samus for the Game Boy. I mean, it was such an upgrade. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past was a huge upgrade over Legend of Zelda and Legend of Zelda 2. Super Mario World, also a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
I mean, Mario 3, it's a huge upgrade from that, but Mario 3 is an amazing game.
Yeah.
Super Metroid was just such a jump. Leaps and bounds in terms of graphics, in terms of how huge the world was, in terms of how many weapons you had, the fights with bosses. Right off the bat, you're fighting Ripley, and you're holy shit. Yeah. The game was just... the music was amazing in that game, too.
The crazy thing about that game is that it's still played on a daily basis by, a bunch of people. I saw the game played back in January at...
on Twitch?
Awesome, yeah, awesome.
That's awesome, man.
So, that game is still, a staple of Nintendo. A staple of fucking gaming in general.
Dude, I gotta say, too, if people have never played, and, I don't know if you have either, the two Game Boy Advance games, Fusion and Zero Mission. If you haven't played them, pick them up on the eShop.
Yeah.
They're absolutely amazing. Was it Zero Mission is kind of a remake of the original Metroid, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And Fusion was, like a new game. But, dude, they're awesome games.
And they're very similar to Super Metroid if you want to get that style.
Oh, yeah. I'm sad. As much as I love the Metroid Prime games, I'm, so sad that we've never received, a new, 2D side-scrolling game.
I think I'd be more interested in one of those more so than a new Prime game.
Yeah. Prime, I feel we've kind of been there, done that type thing. Yeah. I feel if they made another Prime, Metroid Prime 4, I feel we're just kind of treading the same ground again. How new, and it'll look way better. It'll play way better, and all those things are just going to come with it no matter what. If we're going to get more of the same, I'd rather get a Metroid Prime sequel, or I'm sorry, a Super Metroid sequel.
Yeah. So, and the thing is too is maybe they would Nintendo would gear themselves more towards a new Prime game though, because you've got games like Axiom Verge made by.
Oh, that was a great game too. I don't know if you played that or not.
I didn't, but
dude, super good.
So, if you want that style of fix, you can find it with more indie style titles.
Yeah, no, that's actually super true, man. I don't really think about that too much.
So, how many have I given? 2?
You have given. We had Super Mario World. We had Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. So, yeah, 2.
Super Mario 64. I think is going to be one of my 5.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I played the game obviously on the N64. When I bought my DS, so let me kind of put this into perspective. The Nintendo DS came out in 2004. I just turned 16 but hadn't quite gotten my driver's license yet. I was a month or 2 away from getting it.
Okay.
Called my grandma up. Grandma, there's a new video game console coming out. I need you to take me up to the Walmarts at midnight to grab this shit. Will you go? And obviously this is a conversation that I'm having with my grandma at 16, right? I'm saying shit and fuck and
oh, totally, bro.
Right. So anyways, my grandma's super cool. She took me up there. waited in line, like first in line, like I said it like to this day. I was the first motherfucker on the East Coast to have a DS. All right, not at 16. I wouldn't have said that type of stuff. But anyways, first game I picked up 2 games.
Nintendogs?
Yes, Nintendo. Picked up Super Mario 64 DS.
The remake, okay.
Yep. And then I picked up like fucking Madden 2006. Or
Nice.
whatever, like Madden 05, I think it was.
Dude, let's talk for a second. How bad is it now reflecting on it? How bad was the original Nintendo DS hardware?
Oh, dude, the DS Fat?
Yes.
That's fucking awful.
It was horrible.
So when the DS Lite came out, it was like a game changer.
Dude, it was. Like, I remember people saying, like, what did, Nintendo hire Apple to make this new system? Like,
right.
It was such a dramatic difference.
It really
dude.
was.
It was so on Nintendo.
And I didn't even jump on the DS Lite right away.
Oh, dude, I instantly did. I'm like, fuck this DS
yeah,
Fat, dude.
like, it's actually kind of funny. I bought the DS Lite like 3 months after it came out.
Uh-huh.
And then my brother, because the DS Lite came out like months before the Xbox 360, I think.
Okay.
May have been after that. But anyways, I wanted an Xbox 360 so bad. My brother had basically stopped playing his. Yo, Mark, I'm like, I'll give you my DS and $50
For his 360?
for your 360.
Oh, my
And
God.
he did it. It was my DS Lite.
Okay.
And then I started playing 360 for a bit. I'm like,
Which
man,
color DS Lite did you have?
The white one.
The white? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
I started getting sick of the 360 after a while. I'm like, man, I gotta go out and buy another DS. So I did. So I ended up owning like 3 DSs.
That's so awesome.
And they all worked. And the funny thing is, like, after I gave my brother his DS, he had that fabled hinge break.
Yeah, dude.
On the one that I had sold to
Now,
him.
you're doing like the thing with like your finger, like a trigger, like you're talking like the shoulder button.
Yeah.
But you mean the hinge where it opened up?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like on the left side.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, did I ever tell you about how I imported a DS Lite and I had an issue with my right bumper and I called Nintendo.
I did too.
And they
On my second DS Lite.
yeah, they fixed it for free, dude. When I called them, they're like, "How do you have one? It's not even out in America yet."
But don't worry about it.
I'm like, "Yeah, I imported it. Like,
Yeah.
technically, we don't have a warranty on it." He's like, "But we'll take care of it for you."
Yeah. They should have an international warranty.
Yeah.
Anyway, Super Mario 64. That's what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
That was a great game, dude. Like,
Awesome game.
Even to this day, like when you look at like the best rated and reviewed games of all time, like Mario Galaxy's up there,
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time's up there, and Mario 64 are like still kind of heralded as like the number one platforming like 3D game of all time.
It was kind of a novel idea at the time where you could jump into
Paintings,
a painting
yeah.
and play through the same map over and over with different objectives.
Do you remember the underwater world with the eel, dude?
Yeah.
Like with that ship and everything.
That was like the third or fourth painting we would jump into.
Dude, Mario 64 is like if they need to remake a game, like remake
it like full HD.
Mario 64,
full
bro.
camera control. Yeah, it needs
Mario
to happen.
64. Like that's the one thing I will say that's kind of frustrating about Nintendo. I feel like they only feel the need to like remake like what Zelda.
Yeah,
They've remade
like,
2 Zelda games
and like super. I don't want to say super recent stuff because they did Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker.
but it's always Zelda games.
But it's always Zelda games.
Like
if you
why
look
can't
at
we
those,
get a Mario 64 remake?
Yeah, let's
launch the
wait,
NX.
hold on, time
dude.
out. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess.
Yeah, all Zelda games.
What's next? Skyward Sword.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumors that Skyward Sword was going to get remade for the Wii U.
We really don't need it. The game came out 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, man.
Anyways.
Like, I don't count that 3DS
Mario.
as a remake. 'Cause I mean, like, think like at least
It
like
was
the
literally
3DS, we had
almost
a 3D conversion.
It was
right?
almost a straight port.
Yeah, and like even like the 3D Zelda games, like they had upscaled like textures, like the resolution was higher, and there was like benefits to the game. Like it looked better, it played better. It was in 3D. Like the Mario 64 is, like you said, just like a straight port.
Yeah.
I think you could play as like Luigi or something. Like
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
you
like
play as a
really the only
different
thing they
character.
added. And he does have different properties. Like his jump was a
Yeah.
little bit different. Like Luigi's got that like little bit of a flow to his jump.
Dude, what if they launched the Nintendo NX with remade version of GoldenEye? Nintendo secures the rights.
I don't know, because they made that GoldenEye game for the Wii.
No, I'm talking about GoldenEye. Like the original rare one.
They wouldn't be able to do it.
That's what I'm saying. What if they figure it out?
Microsoft owns Rare now, and I feel like Rare owns...
And there's like
the
5
rights
different
to that
movie
game.
studios that own the license to James Bond.
Yes. I don't know.
That's what Microsoft said it'll never happen. There's too many players involved.
There really is.
Too many people want a hand in it, and he's like, we can't just do it. Like, it just won't happen as bad as we want to. I think they actually did remake it. I think I remember that in 360. They actually leaked screenshots of like the remade version of it. They said that they just can't release it because they can't come to an agreement.
Yeah. So yeah, Mario 64.
Yeah.
What's next for you?
So I feel like there's like a trend here.
Well, Zelda Mario.
Yeah, so I mean, either way I go with the next one, it's going to be the same thing. So it's going to be Super Mario Kart, the original Super Nintendo one. I remember it was like coming up around like Christmas, and like, do you remember Big Wheel?
Like the little thing that you wrote?
No, like the store.
No.
There was like a store, it was called like Big Wheel or something. Okay. There's like one in Vermilion by where we lived. And we're from Ohio, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know.
We said Cleveland, Ohio. Right?
Oh, we did say Cleveland, that's right. So this game comes out, Super Mario Kart, and I'm like, I need this game. And I was like, I used to spend this, like a lot of time at my grandma's house. Like, I love my grandma. And I used to always stay at her house. And I had my Super Nintendo and all my games over there, so I would always play them. And I remember I saw a commercial for this game, and I'm like, Grandma's like, I need this game. I was like, I need this game. And I was like, begging her to get it for me. I'm like, this will be my Christmas present. Just buy me this game. And she's like, well, you can't have it till Christmas. I'm like, no,
I need it.
I know. So like, little to my knowledge, she actually called up to that store and she asked if they had a copy, and they did. And so she had them hold it aside, and my mom went up there and bought it for me for Christmas. And she couldn't wait. She gave it, and she gave it to me. It's probably where I get it from. I'm the worst about gifts. And oh my god, dude! Like the next like weeks and months of my life were spent playing Mario Kart. We actually went every single summer. We'd go on vacation to Alabama, to Gulf Shores, and there was this family, last name Smiths as well, that lived down there, like in Florida. And we met them one year, and then every year afterwards, we'd always like meet up at the same time to like just go on vacation together. And I remember like the year I got Super Mario Kart, we're down there on vacation, and their family, like they're all out like at the pool by the beach hanging out, and they're like, "Where's Michael? Did he not come with you guys?" The entire time I brought my Super Nintendo and Super Mario Kart, and I sat up in the hotel the entire trip and played Super Mario Kart, bro.
Oh, your parents were probably pissed at you.
Dude, no, they don't care. It's disgusting how good I am at Super Mario Kart. Like, any Mario Kart. We've had this conversation before about how I just wreck everybody at Mario Kart. I am so good at Super Mario Kart. It's not even funny. But, I mean, that game, that was the first in the franchise. Battle mode, everything was just awesome in that game. I mean, it's so much fun, man. It was such a good game. But,
really good.
Yeah. What you got next, bro?
All right, I think I'm going to tie these last two in together.
Okay.
Since they're a part of the same franchise.
Shoot.
All right, so...
Pokemon.
Oh, shit! Now you just threw a wrench in my plans.
I know, right? Dude, like, I actually edited my list at one point.
Yeah, so Pokemon Blue.
What was it before that?
Well, I'll get to that during my last one, because it's still a part of that. So yeah, Pokemon Blue... or that generation, red, blue, yellow. I was fucking shit, like 9 when those games came to the States. And, we've had the conversation on the podcast before, but I got my Game Boy, or I've had my Game Boy. I got the Pokemon, and I'm like, man, like, this is awesome. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but like, what's an RPG? This is an RPG, then I love RPGs. Like, I love Pokemon. Let me just, like, play this. Want to take my Game Boy to school, and that wasn't feasible because, like, I'm going to lose that shit. I'm, like, 9 years old. Yeah, dude, Pokemon was my shit. So, I didn't have the link cable for, like, a long time. And, like, I kind of, I'm the type of Pokemon player that never traded.
Okay.
Never, like, battled friends. Really. Like, a couple times I had, but... I like to be, like, in my own zone. Like, I want to collect them all. I want to get everything that's available in my version of the game.
Oh, yeah, you have to, dude.
Yeah, and, like, just, beat the Elite Four over and over again and collect all the badges and fuck up Team Rocket. Like, and then I would do, like, the Masingo glitch. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, did you hear, by the way, too? It's still in there, dude.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that.
So, yeah, man, Pokemon. That was my jam.
That's a good one, dude. Man, like, we're sitting here talking about this, and, like, I completely forgot about Pokemon, man.
Oh, I'm glad you said something like right before I almost fucked up. What about you?
Is my last one?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's my last one.
Okay.
Because Super Mario World we were tied for.
Oh, yeah.
So this last one is Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Game Boy.
DX?
You could go either way.
Okay.
I mean, DX is cool because you got it in color, right? Mm-hmm. You got an extra dungeon?
I don't even know.
I can't remember. It's been so long since I played that game. But, yeah, that was awesome. I used to love that on road trips.
Yeah.
That was an amazing game.
I never played much of that. I think I owned it, or my brother owned it at one point, but I did play a little bit of it. Similar, I think, art style to like A Link to the Past, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe
yes.
A little bit different. So.
Yep, yeah, absolutely, man.
My last one is going to be... It's a tie. Can I have a tie?
Yeah.
A tie between Wind Waker...
Okay.
Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
Really?
So, and I know they're like kind of like polarizing games because you've got like a real like
opposite,
nice and bright, and then like a super dark thing. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is kind of like near and dear to my heart because like the only reason I played that game is I wanted to get prepared for Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
I had sold my GameCube fucking stupidly for a fucking PSP.
Ew.
I know, I was super dumb.
Who does that?
A dumb person, a Pop-Tart. So, I had, called my buddy up, like, yo, man, like, can I borrow your GameCube? You got a copy of Wind Waker? Yeah. Can I borrow that? I just want to play through Wind Waker. I ended up playing through Wind Waker, beat it in like a week or two.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm going to get ready for Twilight Princess. And by the way, like, Wind Waker was the first Zelda game that I'd ever beaten. So, like, that's why that game is, like, super near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
And then, like, Twilight Princess came out, and it was such, like, a different tone. You know, like... that game was so good, but like for some reason, it could have been that I was a junior in high school when that game, or a senior in high school when that game came out. I had stopped playing it like halfway through. I was like, I don't know, 15, 20 hours into the game.
Okay.
Stopped playing. So when I came back like 3 or 4 months later, like, where the fuck am I? Like, which direction was I going? So I had to start over. But like when I started over, like I completed it, and dude, that game was so good. Like, best 35 hours or whatever that I've ever put into a single game, I think. And like, at that time, like, I had never, like, dumped a bunch of chunk of time into, like, a big open game like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's somewhere tied between Wind Waker, because it's the first Zelda game I beat, and Twilight Princess because it was, I don't know, I guess at the time, like, a better looking, like, more, like, realistic style Zelda game with these non-colorful like Zelda things that people at the time were kind of making fun of Wind Waker for.
Yeah.
Know? So, but yeah, I'm like losing my voice as this podcast goes on.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because those are both like two really, really fantastic Zelda games, man.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever saw the trailer for Wind Waker at E3, and I mean, like, Link's facial animations, he was just, like, so involved in the game. It was, like, unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Yeah, for sure.
So good.
I remember, like, being in my computer lab in high school, like, every day, like, going to proxy sites, because, like, our website would have, or our computer's network would have, like, websites blocked.
Yeah.
And, like, searching Nintendo Revolution details.
Oh my god, dude, Nintendo Revolution.
Before it was would become be known as the Wii.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess that would have been my junior year, like heading into the final E3 before the Wii was released.
Do you remember when they originally were like rumoring the Revolution? It had like that headgear.
Yes, the Nintendo. The Revolution.
They call it the On.
Yep.
God, why do we remember that?
Yeah, because I watched the video recently.
Dude, I remember that video they showed off from it.
The video was
looked so slick,
professionally produced. Like, they showed this Mario, like the Mario Castle on its lot.
Yeah.
And then they zoomed out, and it was like 1,000 Mario Castles on their lot, and then like on this fucking Mario Castle on its lot globe, and like it would like go into 360, and like it just dude, it was so fucking cool.
It was really good, man.
It was so good. I think that's it.
I think that is it, dude.
The episode.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, you put your list on here. I had to remember mine. I just noticed on the outline. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Start Reset Nintencast. I almost forgot the name of the
You really did.
podcast. You can find Michael at...
You can find me a couple different places, Facebook and Instagram at Hippo Eater, just like it sounds. And on Twitch, on our Start Reset channel, start_reset. And also at Hippo Eater, HIPPO3ATER on Twitch, because some chodemonger stole my name. And that's where you can find me. What about you, bro?
You guys can find me at on Twitter on Twitter at Friction321 FRIKTION 321. Make sure you come by the website. That website is start-reset.com. We are going to post an article for this episode. If you want to leave any comments, you can do that there. Or if you want, you can leave your comments at podcast@start-reset.com. To reiterate what Michael said, find us on Twitch at start_reset. And we will reset this thing next week.
Indeed.
Later.
Peace out!